Hey Retro Tech friends, and welcome to another edition of Dave's Retro Video Lab, the show where I check out old video gear from yesteryear. Today in the lab, we are going to examine Sony's CCD-V8AF 8mm camcorder from 1985. And if it doesn't work, my lab assistant, the Crusher, will recycle the camera for me. Hello, can I help you?
I'm here to challenge the Crusher.
Okay, and you are?
I'm the real Crusher.
And I'm really confused. Tess, get over here.
What's up, Dave?
Tess, why is there a scary wrestler guy in our lab who calls himself the Crusher?
This is Frank. He's harmless.
What is he doing here?
Well, he wrote in and wanted to be on the show, and he said something about meeting the Crusher.
What, Tess? Where do we draw the line as to who comes on our show? Last time it was your cousin Marie, who for some reason I just saw in the break room, and now WrestleMania is here.
Fake Crusher, I know you're out there somewhere, and I have a message for you. I am gonna take you down. I am gonna tear you apart, atom by atom, until you're nothing but a bunch of
Protons.
protons, yeah. You miserable piece of...
Does this guy know the Crusher is just a tool and not a real person?
That's a good question.
I will tear down every wall in this nerd nest until I find you, fake Crusher.
Here, give him this before he destroys the lab, quick!
Hey, Mr. Crusher, here you go.
Finally, we're face to face. You don't scare me with your steely stare. I will take you down to Pound Town.
That sounded weird.
Yeah, sure did.
Action.
Wow, we're just a few minutes into the show and already the train is running off the rails. Why do I do this to myself every single time? Anyway, the Sony CCD-V8AF 8mm camcorder was very popular in its day. Just take a quick search on eBay and you will see there is no shortage of these camcorders for sale on their auction site. The CCD-V8AF has a very cool feature which I will cover in just a few minutes, but first let's take a quick look at the V8AF specs in our camera close-up segment.
What are you doing Friday night?
Oh, nothing. What did you have in mind?
How about you, me, bottle of Chablis?
Sounds stimulating. Tell me more.
Marie. What? You're hot.
She sure is.
Marie, you're live. What?
Sony's CCD-V8AF hit store shelves in the fall of 1985 and retailed for about $1,700. The V8AF was the successor to Sony's first 8mm camcorder, the CCD-V8, the latter model adding a much-needed infrared autofocus system to its feature set. Based around a 250,000 pixel CCD, the V8AF could record images with as little as 19 lux worth of light. Recommended illumination was rated at more than 300 lux. Sony's CCD-V8AF was one of the first camcorders to offer a flying erase head which allowed for smooth transitions between recordings or glitch-free editing, which would make this a very capable edit deck. Speaking of edit functionality, the CCD-V8AF's edit switch function enabled the camcorder to play back video with slightly better quality when transferring footage or editing with a VCR. The CCD-V8AF was on the beefier side, weighing in at 5 pounds, 13 ounces with a tape and battery.
Sony's CCD-V8AF has most of the basic features and functionality of your typical mid-80s camcorder, except for one particularly cool feature which I thought was well worth mentioning. At the VTR end of the V8AF, there is a 5-pin remote port which enabled owners to plug in a Sony RME100 edit controller into their CCD-V8AF And bada bing, bada boom, their camcorders could be turned into an edit deck. Now, in 1985, this meant your Sony CCD-V8AF could be the cornerstone of your basic home video edit system, which you have always dreamed about. But of course, your newfound jubilation would have been quickly doused with a sobering dose of reality when you realize you will need to shell out at least another $1,000, maybe even more, for the Sony Edit controller plus the additional VCR, which had to have some sort of edit functionality. Of course, all this was way back when. Nowadays, you can purchase the same edit system for $250 thanks to eBay. This Sony CCD-V8AF actually came complete with its box and accessories when I purchased it several years ago on eBay. I even have the receipt, which adds more to this camera's backstory, so let's go ahead, crack this thing open, and see what's inside. So of course, I have the retail box, and inside the retail box would have been 2 more boxes, one of which would have been the box that the camera would have come in, and then I have, and you guys are going to love this, I have a complete accessories box. This is really cool. First off, I have the stickers, the warranty cards, all the inserts, everything which would have come with this camera back in 1985.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
And of course, there is the operator's manual. This is in really mint shape, and it's very comprehensive, which is great. Now, not only do we have the operator's manual, but we have this. A complete accessories box for this camera. We have the power supply, the battery cradle, the RF adapter, and of course a cassette. And some of this stuff is still even wrapped up, never even opened. It's really hard to find a CCD-V8AF on eBay with its complete accessories box. I was really lucky. And of course, there's one more little nugget that came with this camera, which really kind of tells the story, about our friend here, and it's the receipt. What's really interesting about this camera, it was sold to a guy named Ralph in Washington State back in January of 1986. He actually didn't just purchase one CCD-V8AF, he bought 3 of these cameras, and he paid a little over $1,300 for each of the 3 camcorders way back in '86. Now, adjusted for inflation, that is over $10,000 in today's dollars. Now, that was way back when. Nowadays, you can find plenty of these cameras on eBay, but if you want one that hopefully works and comes with its basic accessories package, expect to pay somewhere north of $100 on average. Okay, next up, it's time to see if this mint Sony CCD-V8AF has survived the test of time. Stay tuned. Now it's time when the rubber meets the road and we see if this Sony CCD-V8AF is still functional after all these years. To save a little bit of time, I have already plugged in the camera's power supply. All I have to do now is take the AV block and plug it into the bottom of the camcorder. All right, next up, we are going to fire up the camera and aim it at the chip chart. Hello, Marie.
Hi, Dave.
She's still here. Why is that? Anyway, so this camera looks brand new. I mean, it's totally mint, but as we've learned time and time again, that doesn't always guarantee the camera is going to work. So here we go. Let's turn on the CCD-V8AF's power and see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna fire it up. Ooh, that's good. The little light came on. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. You ready? Here we go, and boom. Wow, look at that. Wow, the colors look all right. And let's go into the chip chart, check our focus. And Oh, hello, Marie. So, all right, good. And now, oh, there's my beta movie. Good. And now we're going to come down. Oh, boy. Okay, so, wow. That is really exciting. This CCD-V8AF actually works. So let's take a quick moment to set up the camera and see what kind of video quality we can get out of it. We'll be right back. Listen, you are my agent and you need to take care of this Marie problem right away. She is spreading throughout this lab like a horrible fungus and she has just got to go. I gotta go. So I have set up the camera and aimed it back here at the lab's home base to see what kind of video quality we are truly dealing with here. Now, according to the Sony CCD-V8AF's operating instructions, the camera needs at least 300 lux for good image reproduction. Now, the lab's lighting is set to about 380 lux with a color temperature of about 3200 Kelvin. I'm sure 35 plus years has taken its toll on the camera's CCD, though the picture quality, for the most part, looks okay. We'll be right back. In its day, the Sony CCD-V8AF was certainly a great all-around 8mm camcorder for the home video enthusiast, and even now they're quite popular to those who want to experience a little of yesteryear in a well-packaged vintage camcorder.
Hey,
Tess, I'm trying to wrap up the show. What's up?
I know, I'm so sorry, but the crushers are outside and they're getting awfully close to your car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Marie, it's go time. Action.
Well, that wraps up another edition of our show. The Lab Rats and I want to thank you for stopping by. We hope you had a great time, and we certainly look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, my retro tech friends, and remember, always keep your tape paths clean.
I am gonna take you down to Pound Town.
That sounds
Yeah, sure. Okay, Mr. Crusher. Tess, why is there a scary... Hello, can I help you?
What am I here for?